Hey everybody, today is September 3rd, 2024, and I have a huge video to share with you guys. We've been working on it for a really long time, and a massive project that video is going to be explaining. Um, Basically, my wife, Jessica, and I are opening an independent Lego retail store and birthday party space and event space in Parenton, New York. And this has been a long time coming, but it's also not taken us that long to get here. Um, we started in January of 2024 is when we actually got our official, uh, documentation to become an LLC, and we've been working to get to this point that we're at today as fast as we can. It's been a lot of ups and downs. We've been learning a lot of stuff, uh, but we've also been filming little bits along the way because I wanted to show the process of how to do this, I guess, or like the trials and tribulations. I thought it'd be an interesting story. Um, I don't have a lot of experience with this, but hopefully you can give me a pass on some of the weird cuts and edits and this massively long video. But basically, I wanted to not show everything until we were really signed and ready to roll. And at that point, I can release everything to get everyone caught up, and then start releasing a bunch of short videos, maybe literally YouTube shorts, giving daily or weekly, um, hopefully, updates about how the store is progressing. And we're at a point right now where it's about to start progressing exponentially. Right now, I am expecting about a month and a half to our grand opening, which will have a soft opening beforehand. So we're at the point where we are about to set the date for when we're going to open. Um, so we wanted to get you guys caught up because a lot's going to happen really soon. The store's name is Bricks Rock, and we're super excited about it. Um, we're about to jump to the past on these next clips. The first clip you will see is just after Brick Universe in 2024, which was in April. So it was like just a few days after. Basically, what has happened up to that point was we started a mobile platform to do birthday parties where my wife and I would take our brick and our supplies and tables and everything to people's houses and do birthday parties for about an hour and 15 minutes, to include a custom kit that they take home. And it's been a lot of fun. We did not put too much into marketing, but even still, we had a lot of success with that. And we did quite a few parties that way. That is now transitioning into the brick and mortar store once we open that up, and we're going to stop the mobile. But we've been doing that up into this clip, as well as trying to start the brick and mortar process. You know, getting a loan with the bank, trying to get that funding for a business loan, and then finding a location. At the point you're about to see, we have already seriously looked at one space that was well within our budget, and we thought was okay, good enough, for how cheap it was anyway. It was well below our budget actually, and we were denied that. Basically, they decided to go with a grocery store, a small like independent grocery store, instead of us. So the owners of the property decided to go with somebody else on that one. And then we looked and looked and looked for a long time, and we found a space in East Rochester that we liked a lot, and we went pretty far with that. Um, and then you will see the clip. We were basically told right before Brick Universe that we, can get the ball rolling on this, get the LOI, which stands for letter of intent, which is kind of like a pre-lease, where it's you kind of get the general terms of the negotiations done up front in a short document before the lawyers get massively involved writing big long leases that are specific to your thing. So it's just a kind of a faster way to get everyone to generally agree to price and square footage and things like that before you get the big long lease in there. The LOIs are non-binding, but it's still really important to the process. So we were told with that East Rochester space that we did not need an LOI because there had been no interest in the space, and that we would get the ball rolling on the lease, just kind of skip over it, and he would let us know. The property broker would let us know if there was any other interest in that space other than us. And then Brick Universe happened, and then literally the next week after that, so maybe just 4 or 5 days in between saying that there had been no interest and that we would be considered the only client, to the next clip. So we're gonna go back in time, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, what's going on?
Well, we were denied the opportunity, I'll say, for the East Rochester location, which is 2 for 2 down the drain.
Yep.
Feeling really bummed.
Yep, this just happened this morning.
Yeah.
That they said that they wanted to go with another tenant that was fully funded already, even though we are at max like three weeks away from being funded and ready to sign the lease on that spot. But
honestly, less than 3 weeks. We've got about 1 week down, right, out of the 3-week turnaround that they said.
Yeah. So now we're scrambling.
We'll move on. Yeah.
To find a new location that's going to fit. There are options out there.
Limited.
It's limited, but it's mainly our own choosing, I guess. I mean, there are plenty of spaces that we could rent that are in our budget and the right size and all that, but it's weird locations, or we'd have to like tear down a restaurant, or like it's in an office space somewhere. This area doesn't have a whole lot of like major commercial hubs. So
right. And that's a really good point. We can find something in our budget. It's just the turnaround that we want. There's nothing that like jumps out to us today that we're looking at that we're like, oh wow, forget that other place. This is so much better. Now there are some good prospects.
We just don't have the luxury of saying, oh, let's wait 6 months and see what pops up.
I don't want to be in the position where it's like, well, I guess we'll take this one because it's available now. So I want to be careful and I want to be selective, but at the same time, like we got to get going.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yep.
And just really sad today.
Yep. We're going to go look at a space. Yeah, we're going to go peek through the windows of another shopping center. That would be a nice location.
It's got decent foot traffic. We've been in that shopping center several times. Yep.
It's similar to the East Rochester space. We'll go check it out.
It's in the good location. Yeah. Again. But I'm not going to talk myself into it.
You just don't have time to mourn, which is unfortunate.
I know. I want to.
All right. That's all.
It doesn't have an entryway.
It's got carpet, which we don't love, but it's a nice blank space. It's maybe a little bit skinny. Some parking, and obviously lots of traffic and lots of... It is a Monday, and most of these businesses are closed.
It's a Monday at 1:30. Yeah, a lot of businesses are closed on Monday.
There's still quite a bit of traffic. This one's really promising.
I don't know. I think there's lots of opportunity in this shopping center.
Yeah.
We'll see. We're waiting on a call back from him. Hopefully here in the next hour or so.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So talk to me about what's going on.
Well, we got an email from the bank's SBA team.
Mm-hmm. The
final reviewers
for our loan.
Right. Who I had called a yesterday morning, to say
Mm-hmm.
the space we had proposed fell through.
Right.
That we do not have a location currently.
Yep.
That we are actively working on it. And
So we're trying to get...
asking how that would affect our moving forward, and she said she'd look into it, and she did, and just emailed that we can't continue to move until we have a lease.
Right. So it's kind of probably a little circle that we're in. Like, you can't sign the lease until you have money, and we can't get money until we have a lease. Maybe.
Right. So I don't know the definition of fully funded. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. My thought is, like, it's probably the case where we need to sign the lease, and they're going to say, oh, you need to start paying rent. And we say, we can sign it, you know, with the stipulation that we do get funded. Otherwise, the whole thing is
right. That's
voided.
what I was going to say. Yeah. Yeah.
So, which is kind of just a big circle.
Yeah. So we're kind of in this circle now where we're not moving forward with anything with the SBA. It just feels like a standstill. Like,
Yeah.
waiting on other people.
Yeah.
Which I don't like, because, you know, I get one really productive day off during the week, and when this gentleman says that he doesn't get into the office or doesn't start his business of the day until 2 p.m.
Yeah.
And our kids get off the bus at 2 p.m. It's just a little frustrating.
Yeah. It's been really tough to get a hold of this guy.
Well, and the only other day I have off is Sunday, when no one is conducting business.
Right.
Yeah, so it's cyclical at the moment, which is frustrating, and we don't have the time.
We don't have the time to deal with it. Another little setback. More phone calls, more emails.
It just feels like another day wasted.
Yeah.
The date just keeps getting pushed back. And, you know, like, we're getting the advice of, like, just take your time and, like, find the space that's perfect. And, like, while I get that, I'm only having flashbacks to when we moved. And the housing market was crazy during COVID. And, like, I don't know, I'm just ready for the song and dance to be over.
Yeah. So we just met with a lawyer, reviewing the lease that we requested from the broker for the space that we wanted.
In Penfield.
And, well... It's been a long time trying to get to this point, even. Just been given the runaround of, you know, waiting 2 weeks for this and 2 weeks for that, and so we're definitely feeling like we just want to do it just to be done with it, but there are so many red flags.
Yeah, so a little backstory. You know, we requested the LOI. Took a minute to get the LOI, but it was short and sweet, easy to understand.
Yeah.
So honestly, I felt, simple terms, nothing. I think our lawyer had one change, and it was just like a minor addition of a few words just to be inclusive on a certain point. And so we were like, yeah, great, send us the lease. And they sent us the lease, and it was 30 pages long, which I was shocked about. But I thought maybe I'm just naive and didn't know, like, what a commercial lease looks like.
Yeah, we've never even looked at one of those before, so, like, we have no frame of reference of what that's supposed to look like, which is why you get the lawyer, right?
Right. Well, and the LOI was so short that I thought it's going to be pretty short.
Yeah, LOI was like 7 pages, maybe.
Yeah. You know, our lawyer, which I also find interesting, was like, hey, we should talk about this. When do you want to meet? And I thought, that's interesting, because we didn't meet about the LOI.
Right.
So that should have been a clue to me, but maybe I just wanted to believe that it wasn't. So yeah, we walked in, And he goes, it's a lot. It's 30 pages. And I was like, okay, so that is a lot. And he just kind of had a bunch of red flags. There were no's written all over the packets. Yeah, so my best guess, which the lawyer seemed to agree with, is that this giant lease was in place for the big name national chain brands that they used to house in the shopping center.
There's still a few in there.
And I don't
Just
think
'cause
that
they closed all their stores.
Right. And I don't think that they reframed or plan on reframing their lease to fit what they told us their new demographic was, which is local businesses that are doing experiential things. So not just coming, shopping, and going, but coming, doing, you know.
They don't want to fill this shop with a bunch of credit unions. And
Right.
Whatever.
So we thought, well, we're a great fit. So now after meeting with the lawyer, I mean, I'm just terribly upset and defeated. So I think we're back to, honestly, I mean, he's going to take all of the notes. We're not picking a few of them to agree to.
Yeah,
We're saying...
He said it was very pro landlord.
Yeah.
That everything in there was the landlord isn't responsible, and, you know, all these extra fees that were tacked on. Little things like, you know, we have 15 days to comply with such and such, but if it were the other way around and it was actually the landlord's fault, they have 30 days.
Right.
So it was just very much like, we are responsible for absolutely everything.
Right.
We can be charged with all kinds of fees if we don't comply, and they are not liable for anything at all. Which I get why they would want to write something up like that, but that is not what I want to be signing right now.
Yeah, he just kept saying, legally this sounds fine and correct, but I need to make sure that you understand this.
Yeah.
And that was paragraph after paragraph after paragraph.
Yeah.
Until he went, well, this doesn't really pertain to you because of XYZ. But then the next paragraph, he would say, do you understand this? Are you okay with this?
Yeah.
And I just said, I feel uncomfortable.
He kept saying he was floored.
Yeah.
Or he was
floored.
stunned with what
Yeah.
he was reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's going to take it to them, see what they say. We're going to try to talk to some people that are currently in the plaza to say, hey, did you sign a 30-page lease? What is the landlord really like? Because, you know, even he was saying, you know, this is just the paper. It could be completely different operational, but honestly, like, the paper is what's binding, you know, and he said that too. So, I mean, if we haven't even begun, and I'm already this trepidatious about all of the things.
Well, and it's a 5-year term, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And the term, you know, increases, and like fees increase every year by like 5%. A lot of little things that didn't make it into the LOI.
Yeah, which is interesting. A lot of things didn't make it in the LOI, or a lot of things were different than what the LOI said. So a lot of inconsistency. Again, not sure what we waited 2 weeks for them to draft this lease, because it didn't seem like it was drafted. It seemed like it was, you know, find and replace.
Yeah, the same thing they sent to everybody.
But, you know, we are not a national chain. We cannot be signing something that puts us in such a bad spot. If something were to go wrong, and Kendall makes a good point, you know, if in a 5-year lease, something's going to go wrong.
Something's going to happen. For a new business who's learning a lot of things on the fly, something will happen in 5 years. And I don't want to be in a position where the hammer is brought down and, you know, that ends our business, and then we're personally liable for 5 years worth of rent immediately That it says that in there.
Yeah. It's just really overwhelming. Being a one-income household on very little part-time income. Just waiting and waiting, and then pivoting and pivoting, and it's just...
We know that we're not going to just feel sunshine and roses, but we need to feel like they're a bit on our side, that they want us to succeed instead of they just want our money.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's not even talking about the insurance thing. They had several paragraphs in there describing the amounts in detail of how much insurance we're supposed to have in certain categories. And that has been such a headache as it is to even get what insurance we have, just because we're working with children's birthday parties. There were so many insurance companies that just said, no, we're not going to insure you under any circumstance.
And the only reason I got was because it didn't fit what term did they use?
Their appetite.
It wasn't...
We don't have an appetite.
We don't have an appetite for it. I was about to pull my hair out if someone said the word appetite to me again. But yeah, so I just looked at our lawyer and said, this amount right here for the, excess policy, I cannot meet.
Yeah.
I can't. They don't offer that. I also cannot be insured for more than this amount for our personal liability, because that's their maximum.
So the lease is requiring more than we are even able to get.
Right. So he highlighted it, and it's like, I can't get $3 million. I can get $1 million, and even when I said, I can't get that, he said, well, that's a lot. And so I think just the expectations of them wanting to bring in smaller businesses and then not taking into consideration adjusting the lease terms, I think it's going to hurt them.
Yeah.
But we're pulling in now to see if we can talk to
some of the other tenants
and see
if they negotiated on their lease, what theirs look like, if they've had problems with it, trying to do some kind of on the ground sleuthing here. Because there are some local businesses here. Did they sign a 30-page lease? I don't know.
Yeah, it just seemed like the barber shop. Does the barber shop have $3 million in excess general liability?
I don't know.
No. No. There's no way.
All right, so the update is that the space that we were looking at pretty strongly is just not going to work out. We got the lease back from the property manager, and with changes after we had had our lawyers, look it over and send back what we wanted to change, and they just really didn't do anything meaningful. They changed a couple of tiny things, but all of the really aggressive or egregious things that just seemed like too much to ask, they didn't do anything about that.
Just kind of made it clear in my mind that they're just uninterested in having someone in that space that is local or small.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just really confusing because at the same time, there are local businesses and small businesses in that shopping center.
Yeah.
Yeah. So through some conversation, and for whatever reason, it took me a while to out loud say, I don't want to pursue that site anymore.
Yeah.
I think if I said it out loud, it would be true and out there in the world, and we would have to start over.
Right.
But, there's a saying, when one door closes, another one opens for a reason, because, through our lookings on online, we had a conversation about downsizing. And again, I think that took a little bit of a conversation of are we stepping back from something that we, really, really want. But
are
I
we
think
settling too much?
Yeah, are we settling? But I think through that conversation, Kendall and I realized that, starting off smaller than we wanted originally is probably for the best.
Yeah.
Safer. It is safer. There's only room to grow.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it kind of creates a little bit of exclusivity, if we have parties that are booked, and we can't fit anymore, or if we have events that are sold out because we can't fit any more people.
Yeah. That looks better for people potentially booking more parties, that there is literally only a few spots left in the month that you want. So
yeah, I think it makes it a little competitive, but also really exciting for those people that we're, that customer base, to watch and be excited for us to grow into a bigger space to accommodate more.
Right.
So we started, lowering our square footage sites, and we found a great spot in kind of the triangle that we wanted to be in originally.
On the east side of Rochester.
It is basically a move-in ready site.
Yeah.
Just
a couple of,
surface level things.
Literally surfaces to finish up and
changing out a light.
Yeah.
So we will have, electricians. We'll probably have a plumber come look, because we do want some sort of washing situation to clean the brick.
But we don't have to demolish any walls or redo the floors or, any of that stuff.
Well, and it's even an upgrade, right? So as you'll see soon, there's slat wall all over the building. So that can potentially save us a lot in shelving.
Yep.
So because the square footage is decreased, and because the needs to get the space ready are decreased, we are able to have our funds go further, which could either be investing in something a little swankier than what we originally wanted to put in the space, or paying a little bit more for marketing, or having a little bit more of a safety net for rent and utilities.
Yep. To have that kind of backup to allow us to not make rent, as far as our income, kind of run on a loss for a little while as we're building up that marketing and the customer base.
Well, and it saves us on time too. The shipping of the shelving units was going to be a lot to receive and to build.
Yeah, over 100 shelving units. Yeah, it's going to take us a long time to put those together, but now we don't need nearly as many. So,
so there are a lot of pros. The shopping center is also full, so there's not empty spaces or vacant suites that we're next to. So it's active, and it looks active.
And a lot of the spaces that are occupied are family oriented. There's a pediatrician. There's a kind of like toddler and baby
play zone.
Play zone, pay to play area. There's a family diner. It's we kind of feel like we dodged a bullet on that other lease. It was just not going to be.
It was just taking too long.
God, it was taking forever. Just every single step of the process took another week at least. It was just grueling.
Yeah, and we've been very pleased with this broker. He's been super responsive, super quick. Just the fact that we can get into the space without him being there like a normal realty lockbox is pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
We're not on his schedule. He's kind of like on our schedule, which is great. And we set foot in the space yesterday. He wasn't there, but we called him. We had a great conversation. He sent us the LOI. I responded this morning. He sent me an application. I responded to him just before we got in the car. Like, it's been rolling.
Yeah, it's an active conversation instead of just getting ghosted and then like emailing or calling or texting, asking for updates, and then getting ghosted on those. And like,
Like, I understand that we had some holidays sprinkled in.
Sure. But I mean, we did too. We were still
yeah.
doing business. We were still expecting things to happen. We still celebrated those holidays.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know the life of a realtor. I know that they are human beings and have families and have vacations.
Sure.
So I am not wanting to say that they should be at our beck and call, because that's not how I feel. I just want to put out there that every step, every phone call took a week to get a response. And here we are telling people, hey, this is our livelihood. We need to be open.
We
as
needed
soon
to
as
be
possible.
open a month ago. You know,
Our goal in January was to be open in June.
Yep.
And I think that that got us really, really down in the dumps. I mean, speaking for myself, like, my depression spiral was large.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find energy. I couldn't pull myself out of, off of the couch when I would get home from work. And like, you didn't want to go downstairs into the Lego room. Like, it was just we were just so defeated.
Yeah.
But to have someone who's excited for us, who is active, like hungry.
Yeah.
It's great. And I feel energized again. So anyway, today we're going back to this space because we can. And walking around one of our close friends and suppliers, just to get their opinion, because they've been in retail for a long time.
And they've seen the inside of a lot of independent Lego stores.
Yeah.
They've been selling Lego on their own online for a long time, so they know the ins and outs of how to sell Lego and how that works generally.
Yeah, so we're excited to get their opinion. And
Yep.
Do we know how long the lawyers will take? No. Is that frustrating?
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably a week.
But I do have hope that it will only be the lawyers this time and not the lawyer and the broker that we'll be waiting on.
Yeah.
Even he mentioned it in our phone call with him yesterday about how long lawyers are taking. And we were like, yeah. So that tells me that he doesn't want to take that long. The landlords are desperate to get someone in the space.
Yeah. I mean, they need the space.
And we
filled.
said, we're desperate to get in a space.
Yep. Okay, so we're at Whitney Town Center. Here's the front door. This is the previous spot for So Creative. And this is about 2,700 square feet. We really like it. It's got really great lighting. We love how neat and tidy it is. A skylight there. We're just kind of walking around trying to figure out how we would fit in this space. So I think the cash wrap would be over here. It looks like that's where the previous cash wrap was. This would likely be our kind of back room, storeroom, which is a decent size. That's probably 5 feet, 6 feet maybe. No roof to it, so we could have pretty tall racks, or we could maybe put lofted kind of storage up there. Possibly, if this was not enough, we could use the Everblock to extend this out and kind of have our own door on the side of this extension to our cash wrap there. We've got the bathroom over here, pretty centrally located. Got a little storage closet there. This goes to the kind of central utility corridor for all of the units. This is another storage closet. This back here, we've got kind of a drop ceiling situation over here. We're thinking this is where the party rooms would be. So we'd have 2 party rooms. Let me back up here. Yeah. So we'd have an Everblock wall down the center that came here and teed off to where it's in line with the start of this drop ceiling, and we'd have 2 separate party rooms. We're just now discussing this section over here because we do really want a space to wash brick and process that. So we've got a drain, we've got water here and power. So this little nook here could possibly be an area for us to do that. Put a couple of deep sinks and a whole drying station in here, and have that kind of closed off with maybe a room divider situation or something like that to process bricks over there. We've got a lot of slat wall that's been removed over here, and we've got lots of slat wall over here that we could definitely, take this off because it doesn't need to be in the party room. So take it off over here and add it to those sections over there to fix that up a bit. Maybe even that section over there. Yeah. All right, so quick update. We are headed back to this new space for what, a 4th time? We have moved really quickly on this space. It's been a week or 2, I guess, since our last update. And we've already gotten the LOI, signed and turned in, and we've gotten the lease back to review. We've got our lawyer to look at it. We have a meeting set with the lawyer tomorrow to actually sit down and review it with him.
Right.
And so everything's going really quickly, which is great. Right now, this meeting, we're headed there to talk to the code enforcement gentleman for the town that we're in, and
Just to ask a few questions.
Yeah, ask a few questions. Mainly talk about occupancy. I think he needs to see the space, and he needs to, kind of review our plans for our layout in order to give us a solid occupancy for the different versions of the store and the event space. So.
Yeah, we're excited. We like the space, or I like the space more and more every time we go there.
Yeah.
The landlords are very generous with a few offerings on their dime, which is nice. And like we said, we did receive the lease, and we, with very tired minds at that time, reviewed about half of it before we had to call it quits, and it was just, jumbled. But, skimming through it, there's no big red
Yeah,
flags.
we kind of skipped around to what we thought were the most egregious points from the previous lease.
Yeah.
We went to those sections first, and just to make sure that this one is different, and it definitely is.
It definitely is. We feel more comfortable with the language. We feel more comfortable with the way they handle things, especially things like damage to the leased property or even to the shopping center itself. There's a lot of fairness in the language, which tells us that they care about the businesses that are there, which we can't really say for the other lease. At least it didn't come across that way. I can't tell you whether or not someone cared. But these are also local landlords, whereas the other one was in a completely different state. So perhaps it is a fair judgment. They are investing quite literally in their community. They office a few blocks away. They're a family business. The shopping center is filled with only local businesses.
Yeah.
We just feel really, really good about it. It's just kind of crazy how fast this one's happening.
Yeah, considering how slowly the last one went, it's just been a complete 180.
We got the lease on Friday, and we have a meeting with our lawyer tomorrow.
Yeah, even the lawyer was really quick.
Yeah,
which
but I think
was
it's
awesome.
because it's pretty simple. It's pretty easy and straightforward.
Yeah, it's a much shorter lease.
Yeah.
By quite a bit.
So yeah, we're just really excited. So
All right, so here's the update. We have gone back and forth with this. You're gonna give it away.
I'm just so
We've gone back and
excited.
forth with the property manager and the lawyer, and we've worked out a couple of kinks, but all went pretty smooth with this one. And they sent us the lease to sign. The lawyer said it looks good to go, so I think we're good to go. You've already signed it?
I already signed it.
All right, give it to me.
Oh, you want to sign it? It's very exciting. Oh, I need a better drum.
I accept. Congratulations, you're all done.
Yay! Yay!
So we're starting a store.
We're starting a store.
Okay, so what happens now is a whole bunch of stuff. We have been just like planning for this for so long now, but now that we've actually signed it, we have to take that to the bank because they have had our loan approved but on hold for months now, and all they needed was a signed lease. So we will send that to them. We've already spoken to them today, giving them a heads up that they'll see it, and then they're going to get the ball rolling on actually finalizing that loan, actually getting us an account with that bank with our loan sum in it. After that, we start ordering things. As soon as we've got money in the bank, we start using it to buy all the stuff and get that stuff being delivered ASAP. We've also got to call a whole bunch of people to get things scheduled for the contractor that's going to be doing the little bit of work that needs to be done on the space. Getting with them to do a walkthrough and actually point out things that we need done, in which way we need it done.
Right, so he doesn't...
We've already got a bit of the terms worked out for that
Yeah.
already. It's not major, but we just kind of want to be super clear with that contractor about what needs to be done.
Yeah, so he doesn't undo something that we didn't want undone.
Correct.
Or do
Yeah, we
something
don't want
that
any
we didn't
mistakes that
want to be
delay
done.
any further.
Right. Yeah.
We've got to get the signage for the store, the front main sign, and any of the window signage ordered and designed and ordered ASAP, so that they can have time to make and install that.
Yeah, the only thing really we'll wait on the bank to have their approval, but we're basically approved. They just needed paperwork.
Yeah. So it is Thursday.
And we're needing to wait for the contracted work to be done because the landlord is having the space ready-made for us. So
Right.
We don't know what that turnaround is. We're anticipating 2 weeks. It's just moving some slat wall. So I can't imagine that it's going to take a really long time.
No. Repairing the wall once they rip the glue off.
So if they really take their time, I think 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, they could do it in one day, but
yeah, I mean, it seems like one day of work to me.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Or letting some stuff dry and then painting over it, but
yeah, but could be a couple days just to get it scheduled, get them out there, do the work and clean up, But yeah, I mean, this is a very exciting moment.
Yeah.
One that we have waited for. And we've had a lot of emotions.
Mm-hmm. So we started this company, the LLC, we were officially made an LLC January 19th, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, November was a hard time. December was hard, and the holidays made it a little bit more stressful.
Mm-hmm.
We did get the opportunity to go back to Oklahoma to celebrate Christmas, which was really such a light in a very, very dark time. And kind of within conversations of being at home, joking around, oh yeah, we should open up our own store. Yeah, we've always said that.
Yeah, at the end of
Honestly,
December.
I think on the flight home, probably we were like, yeah, we should do.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as
It's
that
like, why are
idea
we
popped in my
joking around
head,
about it?
you know, we
Yeah.
just start rolling with it. It's not the first time I've thought about it.
No, and you've said that for years, but kind of just like offhandedly, or like maybe as a retirement plan. But you know, different plans were, you know, laid before us. So
we're playing the cards we're dealt.
What a journey.
Yeah.
To this point, and really, it's exciting for a lot of reasons. It's exciting because it's a big check mark that we can check off.
Yeah.
It's a huge weight lifted. You know, assuming nothing goes wrong within the next few days.
Yeah.
We have a space. We don't have to look for another one. We have a space.
Gosh, that's great.
I know. We have a space that is already bringing young traffic with the pediatrics, with a pay to play zone, with a diner. So the whole family, right? A pizza place. And we are the last occupants of this shopping center. So it is a full shopping center,
fill it up.
which is very different than literally any other shopping center we've looked at. It's a manageable size. It's a beautiful site already. So there's very little work for us to do besides setting up and decorating.
As far as physical, like labor work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas at other places we were looking at replacing flooring.
Yeah,
like
we're
setting aside
researching like grinding glue off of a concrete surface. Like, yeah.
So the turnaround for us will be very fun because it's shopping and setting things up and staging, right? So yeah, back to what I was saying. It's exciting because we have this big check mark. It's exciting because our support system, which is vast and great, we get to tell them, guess what, you know, and they'll celebrate with us.
Yeah.
But we've also had a lot of successes recently. We decided to do the farmers market in our community, which is hilarious because it's soaps and lotions and, you know, homemade dog treats and Lego.
Yeah.
But you know what? We've been welcomed with open arms. We've been approached by other people in the community that want to work with us. We've been
the organizers of this market, farmers market is a strong term, but the organizers of this kind of public market even came to us and like, you guys should be at everything we do.
Yeah. So we have a lot of things in the works that we are able to network because of this. We have been booking birthday parties. We have one today. So it's all happening.
Yeah.
And I know that it's all going to continue to happen really fast, but like I'm here for the ride.
Yeah. Yeah, we're excited about the parties because August is the first month that we have a party booked every weekend. Or every week, I should say.
Yeah.
One party every week.
July was pretty slow, which is why we decided to do the market, because we were like, well, we need something to do to keep our momentum going, but also just to...
We're also not surprised that it's slow because
the bank account,
in this area, everyone is traveling,
yeah.
you know, during July. You know, it's kind of the one month that we have overlap in the summer with other parts of the country, you know, where their kids are on summer break as well. So it's like a big travel month. And it's just beautiful outside. So, you know, if you're going to have a party, you're probably going to rent a space at the park and have it outside. So the fact that August is now our busiest month by far, and we are still putting just nothing into marketing.
Yeah. These are parents of kids that have been to parties before, you know, contacts on some of them that just find us online.
Yep.
We have one family of a friend. So again, that support system coming in clutch.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, to have very little going into the marketing and then to have a party every week, I know that sounds perhaps like so little.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it is, but considering how much we are putting into getting the word out, and we've already booked one party every week for a month, is great. You know, that just tells me that once we do flip the switch, we get money in the account, we flip the switch on the marketing to crank it to 11. We're gonna be going real fast, real
yeah,
real
and
hard
then we'll
right off the
hit
bat.
the other demographics. We'll be able to do the events for people in our age bracket. Funny enough, our new location is really close to like a retirement area, and I was like, well, what a great opportunity to kind of reach into that demographic. Like maybe we could have classes for them, you know. Way to fill the space at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Come to us after you get your coffee at the diner.
Yeah.
Who knows. So I think that this space and this plan that we have, we will be able to easily hit every age bracket successfully.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really, really saying something. I know that
And we put it, this location is right where we wanted it on the east side. It's not like so far out of the way in any direction, but it is on the east side of Rochester. So, a lot of the birthday party options are on the west side or kind of central core. And, there's just a big wasteland of nothing over here
but
as far as birthday parties go. So
it's a very affluent area. And we're kind of lucky to have found a spot in that space.
Yeah.
Right in that triangle.
But there's just not a lot of commercial space anyway. Most commercial space available is where everything else is, in the big Jefferson space in Henrietta or in Greece and all that kind of stuff downtown.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're just really excited. We see a lot of opportunities and we're going to run with it.
Yeah.
Join us for the ride.
What a massive video. and quite a mess, honestly. From now on, the videos will be much shorter, quick updates, and we just kind of wanted to get this out there to catch you all up to speed. And I honestly don't have time to be filming and editing this video, so I just need to get it out there so we can get going on the important stuff of opening this store. I appreciate your support here. As always, you guys at the end of this video are the most dedicated. We'll see you next time.